Welcome, guys, to a brand new TAC Interviews. I am Chicken Wings, and today I have the cast and crew behind Cosmic Phoenix Productions, or Cosmic Phoenix Pro, on YouTube. I don't think people know your names, to be exact.
All right. Hi, I'm Neo Ridgeback. I do the voice of Ed.
And Alphonse Elric, yay!
I do most of the scripting grunt work, and most of the sound editing work behind the scenes for this series.
Like Chaos Blaze, or Matt, whatever you like better. I mostly do the voices. I help Rob come up with the jokes, and I help him direct the scenes a little bit, But I'm mostly the go-to guy for voicing. So that's my shtick. I do the voice of Mustang, Hughes, and about 100 other characters.
Yeah, I know. Extras. They kill us all!
Rob does Ed and Al, and Matt does everyone else.
Hey,
Who are
I
you?
voiced most of the extras in episode 3, so shut up.
Wait,
right.
who is this person? Who is he? He hasn't said his name. Who are you?
All right, I am BradX24. Most people call me Fuzzy. I'm the editor of the team, and I'm pretty much responsible for getting the episode out, and it's... yeah.
Awkward silence!
Awkward silence. I didn't know, where to come in after that. Anyways, let's see. Next question is, what got you all three to want to try to do Full Metal Alchemist Abridged?
A lot of it actually happened, what was it now, 2 years ago when we first...
Yeah, I think it was Anime Next 2009.
It was roughly 2 years ago. We all met at Anime. Well, me and Rob have been friends for a while, but we met Fuzz at Anime Next, and we just kind of started talking about doing an abridged series. Yeah. And originally, we had planned to do Neon Genesis Evangelion abridged.
But then we realized every single joke that could be made has been made, and I honestly don't even know what happened to that script anymore on my computer.
Yeah,
I think it was in my crashed hard drive. Maybe I can try.
No, I mean, I remember because I remember writing the script. I had some, it was a finished script, and I don't know what happened to it. So
I just remember
it wasn't all that. It wasn't all that good anyway.
Predictable joke after predictable joke after predictable joke.
Basically, it sucked. So we decided, all right, well,
let's do something even harder.
Yeah, we all love Full Metal Alchemist, Light Bulb.
Yes.
And then we started making Full Metal Abridged. So.
And then precedes the randomness. Yay!
Alright, speaking of Full Metal Alchemist Abridged, has there ever been a case where someone that was doing the same exact series was complaining, saying that, no, you shouldn't do this, I am doing this?
We have not actually had that experience yet, mainly because I think we're still just kind of underknown. We have 86 subscribers currently right now, but it's steadily growing after we Stone's bridging contest. It's been growing day by day, a little bit. I mean, 1 or 2 subscribers are jumping in every other day. So right now we have yet to actually witness anyone complaining about us.
Except that anyway. One dislike in episode 1.
Shut up! You can't always be perfect.
Yeah, criticism is a part of the creative process. So. I bet eventually we're going to run into that one person who lets their inner troll out for a minute and goes, no, you can't do that because I'm doing that. But, we're just going to tell them,
They be trolling, they hating.
Anyway. You know what the worst part is? We probably sound like a bunch of tools, but, whatever.
Yeah, we're all college students.
But we're just going to ignore them pretty much. There's nothing you can really do about it. People are going to complain, and that's just part of it.
I mean, I'm sure LK deals with this kind of crap all the time, and he still seems to have his sanity intact.
He makes fun of it, actually.
Yeah. I mean, there's always a constructive way of dealing with trolls, whether it be screwing with them in videos, making fun of them in videos. I'm going to unsubscribe if
this happens again.
Yeah, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but we're not quite there yet.
If there was an episode that you wanted to actually go over again and try to redo, what episode would that be?
1.
Yeah, definitely 1.
It just looks so amateur compared to what I can do now.
that I'd rather get a few more episodes down the line before we attempt to do a redub of episode 1. Namely because I want to put that as far out of my mind as possible, and then rewatch those 2 episodes fresh, and then write a script. Hopefully, not including half the crap I had before, except for a few certain jokes that we all do love.
There was one part of episode 1 that I always hated, and that's why I want it redone, and that was those subtitles that Fuzz decided to stick in places.
I'm
You
sorry.
little
I'm
person,
sorry.
man.
I thought it was all right, but it's definitely not up to par with what we could do now, so I think that's
That
the
is
one that...
relevant! Now get me a texting device.
I still think Satanic Owl is just brilliant.
No, Satanic Owl will always stay in there no matter what.
Also about Fullmetal Alchemist Abridged, how did you and Nowacking get to meet to actually help out with the series?
Okay, that one's pretty much directed at me. This, basically what had happened was, Fuzz, I think this is definitely before I met you. Basically I had, like, my first Anime Next, I actually ran into Borin Yukami, and I ended up becoming friends with him to a degree, for the most part.
You mean Love Slave?
Don't ever mention that incident again. That was like that was the biggest joke at the.
No. That was the year I met you, dude.
Okay, I'm just making sure, but
Borin made him his personal bitch. Borin made him his personal bitch for the day. It was great. Oh God.
He's attacking me again.
All right, answer the question then.
Okay, then. Basically, what happened was, literally, it was like after Anime Next when, basically, when me and Fuzz happened to be talking one day, and we started coming up with the idea for writing the script, and so we had pretty much written out the entire first episode, which I think took a couple weeks, mainly because we were really kind of just fighting with each other over the first episode. I don't know why it took so long, but eventually I got pulled into Borin had pulled me into a Skype call with a few people, and that's where that was when I kind of was talking to Nowacking like the second time around, because I had met her at Anime Next, but I didn't talk to her much. So I was talking to her for a while on Skype, and then eventually I asked her, "Hey, would you like to do a female voice for us?" She's like, "Sure." So I sent her off the script, and she actually loved loved the first episode script, and basically she wanted to do Winry after that. So she's going to end up doing Winry for us when Winry pops up in, I believe, 2 episodes I have now?
Yeah, the Barry the Butcher episode.
Yeah. Basically, and episode 5, I would believe it is at this point, depending on what I'm thinking about doing for episode 4, she will be returning as Winry, I hope, anyway.
All hell's gonna break loose.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. It was just kind of a sequence of random events that kind of led me to her, and she is one of the nicest people I've ever talked to. She's very, very, very good with getting her lines to me in a considerable amount of time, depending on how much work schedule she has and who's talked to her first, and blah 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 with prioritizing. But she is very nice. She helps us out a lot, especially when it comes to Anime Next. And actually, her and One Kids Entertainment and Jerry64 on Pokemon Abridged by just doing random artwork for them that they needed for stinger jokes or the dreaded Saki. And that's pretty much where the story leads, really.
For those that are wanting to actually get started doing something like this, what kind of advice would you 3 give them?
Lay off the heavy references. Do not do it. Like, if you're gonna do a reference, you have to be very smart about how you do it, because
subtlety is gold.
If you can't say Pirates WTF or Card Games and Motorcycles randomly in the episode, yeah, that's not gonna make it funny. That's just gonna make you look like an idiot. Dependent on who you are and if you have the technical know-how to really pull off writing an episode.
You can, as long as you have some good writing and some good voicing, and you can at least make a halfway decent edit for the first couple episodes until you get better, that's pretty much where I think it lies.
There's a pretty fine balance. Editing helps out a lot, but it's somewhat the weakest part of the two. Like, your main aspect of how to actually make it really good is that you have to script well and you have to do your voicing well, because without the voicing part of it, the script just kind of falls apart. It's kind of just relying on the balance between the editing, between the voicing and the writing, really.
Don't
And
forget
then
about the timing.
whatever, like basically, like Matt said, basically, if you do a halfway decent edit, as long as you're in voicing, that's usually all that really counts until you get better with your editing.
I mean, the prime example for that would probably be Little Karibo. I mean, his first couple episodes, there was little to no editing in it. It's just a bunch of jump cuts,
and
but it was
surprisingly enough, I had talked to Martin about this, and literally he had been editing those first I think it was the first 8 episodes were on Movie Maker.
Yeah, like it's just like his first couple episodes were very low quality editing, but the scripting and the voicing, despite
dinosaur.
Yeah, it was all really good, like writing, and it was really funny. So I think that's the big thing is you start off with the editing small and make sure you focus on voicing and writing, because we went nuts and tried to do all 3 and we almost killed each other, I think.
Yeah, I think that kind of ended almost in a fist fight between the 3 of us by the time Anime Next had rolled around that year. Quite finished at the time with the first episode. And basically, we're kind of hitting Fuzz with like shocking prongs, trying to keep him awake and forcing him to edit that entire night. And
we didn't let Fuzz sleep.
Yeah, he didn't even finish it in time for the panel, for the general abridging panel. And so we were really ticked off, and we were almost like this close to just breaking, and then because we had because we had been talking to Martin earlier that day, and he asked, "Hey, did you guys premiere a series?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You want to just do it at my panel?" Yes.
So
then Martin was just like the nice guy when he told me that we could do that. I'm like, I was about ready to go over there and just man hug him. I'm like, "Thank you."
Basically, like, in terms of editing, timing can make the absolute difference between whether a well-written joke is good or bad, or even if a predictable joke ends up being laugh out loud funny. It's something not a lot of people really realize until they actually get down on a couple of episodes. So yeah, I agree with Rob and Matt that there should be a fine balance between writing, voice acting, and editing. If you can get that balance, then you're set.
I mean, the finer aspect of voice acting, I mean, I'm talking basically just based on my own personal experience because I had no acting experience when I had jumped into this the first time, and it was pretty much just practice, show to other people, see if they thought it was funny. If not, record, rinse and repeat. And to be honest, like, I finally started feeling like I've been comfortable voice acting and actually doing my lines correctly now we've gotten 3 episodes in. And it's pretty much all about your practice and how well you can really read into the context of a line and emote it properly.
If you could pick any abridgers to duke it out at anywhere in the world, who would they be and why?
Quite stuck between a few things, to be honest. It would either have to be between LK and Lanny Pator, just because I feel like seeing both of them in those giant sumo suits and just fighting it out in an arena would be hilarious. And at the same time, I would love to see what would happen if Nowacking and Takahata 101 just met up and just started duking it out, mainly because it's kind of a bit of a paradox because she is the female Takahata and Takahata is the male Nowacking, so it's kind of a bit of a paradox if you think about it.
Well, thanks for stealing mine, Rob.
I had to pick. I'd probably have 2 of them too, and one of them would be Nowacking versus Takahata 101. I'd like to see them just in a voice-off where the winner takes all. There can only be one.
Highlander!
I'd probably actually like to see Little Karibo versus Masako in all-out fist fight because it would be extremely British and it would be extremely funny. There would be tea and crumpets and monocles and top hats everywhere, and it would just be the greatest fight to ever happen.
Don't forget the mustaches. Never forget the giant curly mustaches.
Yeah.
It would just be so British, and it would just be magical. It would be the greatest event in history.
Meow, Mr. Fox.
And after that, all of mankind would learn to love each other because the 2 Brits fought it out.
So that's a way
That's the key to world peace.
Yeah.
That is the key to world peace.
Who knew?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Takahana 101 and no acting again. Like you guys said, it would just be an awesome competition. But my second one would be an editing competition between One Kids and Kaiser Neko.
That would
Ooh,
actually
that's a
be
good one.
very interesting to see now that I think about it.
That's
I
very
mean-
good, actually.
I could imagine them like editing in epic explosions until like the video crashes or something.
That actually would be a very good one to see because they're both really freaking good.
And then watch this, like, one kid literally comes to us, hey, Rob, can I blow up your house for some footage?
What?
Excuse me?
I need a house blowing up footage. Can I blow up your house?
If after you finish Full Metal Alchemist, what would be the next series that you guys would actually want to consider abridging?
Actually, we've actually been talking about this. Me and Rob have been talking about this now as a possible side project, and I really like the idea of this.
Mainly
We
because,
might-
honestly, the jokes in there actually write itself, to be honest.
pretty much, but we'd be considering doing Metabots abridged.
A lot of
And
it kind of depends on if we can actually find clean copies, like a DVD quality.
Yeah, I've been looking.
Yeah.
It's hard to find them.
That's the biggest
But-
issue right there.
I think that'd be a really fun one to do, Metabots abridged. I mean, it's kind of like some kind of crazy mix between like character of the day show stuff and like some kind of overall plot too. So I have a feeling we could just have a ball with that.
My name is of no concern. Okay, my name is of no concern. Damn it.
Something like that, yeah. Only much better written.
Yeah, I have to sit. We have to sit down and just sit there and just stare and write for like an hour straight. But
Yeah, I actually watched the first episode. It's pretty funny now that you guys pointed that out.
yeah. I mean, honestly, for me, like aside from there, like after this is done, or at least during, two things I would actually like to get a few people involved in. One would be actually just because I was at my anime club the other night, and they put on the Vision of Escaflowne, and I just realized something. The entire series just writes itself in my head as I was cracking jokes left and right, and I had everyone on the floor laughing.
Rob,
Yeah,
you do know HBI did abridge Vision of Escaflowne, right?
I did not know that, but still.
Late to the game. But I'm sure we could figure a bunch of other things, but those are the ones we really like thought about at the moment.
I do
So
have
this is
one
the-
other one, but I'm going to keep that under secret wraps because I need to talk to people and I want to keep this secret because I feel like if we actually pull this off right, this would be hilarious to do.
And one final question I want to ask you three is, if you guys could go back in time at anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
That's always the hardest question for me because I'm trapped between really like two different dates, really. Like one would probably be to go either back to the beginning of the 90s, live through that era again, or just being like, or just before that when in the prime time of good old Nintendo Entertainment System, relive through a lot of that stuff, and go to see the Wizard in theaters. And then another part would be to go straight back to the beginning of Pokemon, actually, because Pokemon is the most dearest thing to my childhood, and I don't think I would have grown up the same without it. To be honest, I may or may not ever have even be here right now if it wasn't for Pokemon.
Pokemon was responsible for your birth.
No, I mean just being here in the Abridged series and being into anime as much as I am. I mean, Pokemon was basically one of the gateway animes that really had dropped me in there. And I guess as a kid, when you grow up with ADHD, it's really hard to really associate yourself. So Pokemon really helped me give an excuse to really hang out with a lot of people and actually start making friends when I was a kid in elementary school. And to be honest, without it, I probably would not be the same. So I would enjoy being able to go back and experiencing Pokemon again like it was, and seeing the New York Pokemon Center back in its heyday before it became the Nintendo World Center. That's something I would probably treasure above all else.
If I could go back anywhere in time, probably go back to yesterday morning and have that bowl of Frankenberry all over again, because that shit is good.
Frankenberry,
No, I'd probably go back to late 80s, early 90s too, and live through all those glorious days again where, everything was just fine and dandy. Nintendo just came out, Pokemon, all that great stuff. Dragon Ball Z was in its heyday. That probably fun is like you'd be able to like go back and tell people what's going to happen next, and they're like, no way, and they see it and they freak out. Just be the greatest like experience ever. But I'd probably like to go back and live all those good days again and see all the good stuff. See the Power Rangers craze too. Mom's fighting in the toy store. That'd be great.
Witness the birth of little Karibo and just
The Walmart stampede
next to him. You shall do great things.
It'd just be great to go back in time and just act like some kind of semi-prophets and freak people out.
I just bet on Nintendo saying like get into a really big fight with someone who's like a really big Sega fan and just bet them I'll bet you $200 million right now that Nintendo stays on and Sega dies. I have it here written in a contract and in my blood down here. Please sign the contract. It'll be fun taking your money in about 6 years.
I would like to take a nostalgic trip back to the 90s. Again, when Pokemon was religion.
And God came down from the heavens and said, Pikachu, use Thunderbolt.
Let me think. Also, I like the movies because of a couple films in mind. I kind of like a film. So I would sort of like to go back to 1994 specifically to see Shawshank Redemption and Forrest Gump when they were first
Disney.
released.
Everyone wants to see Disney again.
Oh yeah, maybe 1993 to see Beauty and the Beast. Oh, but then again, 1994 was when Hunchback came out. Oh, such a tough decision.
Thanks again for being a part of the interview. So, anything else you guys want to say before we end it?
I'll say this much. This is the epitome of why I love Pokemon so much. Literally, I found like the most precious part of my childhood that was shoved in my closet for 10 years, and I pulled it out, and it was an original poster from Pokemon. And it survived somehow for 10 years in my closet. I don't know how, and I have it framed on my wall. And that's all I have to say, is that your nostalgia will always come back to you no matter what.
Not much, really. Just, if you're going to a bridge, have fun with it. If you can't have fun with it, then can't say much.
I mean, this isn't a money-making industry, unless you're Martin and you can basically make as many t-shirts as you want and basically rule the world with catchphrases. But in a sense, this is something you have to have fun with. I mean, it's very, very rare that anyone will ever get as famous as Little Karibo or Team 4-Star. I mean, this is something that we all do to have fun, improve our, just overall meet a community of people who do various things and basically live some very interesting lives and just become really great lifelong friends.
All I want to say is thank you, Chicken Wings, for dealing with us and our shenanigans and tomfoolery. Thanks to anyone who actually watches our silly little show.
I think the one person that recognized me at Katsucon, that was awesome.
It's much appreciated. And I just want to thank all the people who have, supported us and actually shown interest in us and like our stuff. And we're just going to keep trying to, do our best and have fun with it and entertain people. Because at the end of the day, that's all we really want to do is we want to make some people laugh and have a good time. And,
oh, right. The one other thing I don't think we ever mentioned. Because we got invited to do a panel at Con.
Which is like the 4-H fair of Somerset County.
Yeah, it's basically that. One of our subs is a part of the 4-H guys, and they were holding that small anime convention for one day, and they asked us if we wanted to do a panel there, so we accepted it, and it's the weekend after Anime Next, so basically we're gonna have a panel on 86 subscribers. So, wow, the world just seems to love us right now.
So. That's what I mean. Just thanks for dealing with us and thinking we're actually funny.
Yeah, and our shenanigans.
And our just shenanigans and tomfoolery. And how we sound like a bunch of tool bags right now in this interview.
That's it for the interview, guys. Thanks again for being a part of this. This is Chicken Wings with T.A.C. saying good night.